Haha, the birds. I've been traveling internationally since I went to China in 1983, and I am by no means a travel expert. I've had plenty of missteps, mess ups, and unfortunate events along the way. In this video, I want to show you the best things I've learned. These aren't the usual travel tips that you've heard over and over. There are plenty of good videos out there that cover those. I want to tell you about things I wish I knew earlier. Travel advice that I find helpful, and hopefully you will too. Ready? Let's get into it, in no particular order. Do these 4 things before you leave the house. You don't have to plan every single minute of your trip, but here's what I think is the bare minimum. Make a hotel reservation for the first night and figure out these 3 things. How are you going to get from the airport to the hotel? What's the deal with the money? And is your phone going to work? Because if people recommend the best way to get from the airport to your hotel is take an Uber and your phone won't work, that's a problem. So at the bare minimum, take care of these 4 things before you get on that plane. Okay, what's up next? Okay, next piece of advice, take a city tour. I know a lot of people just want to hit the ground running, walk around on your own and see what happens. I've done this myself and it can be amazing. Or sometimes you find out later you missed some really cool stuff because you were 1 street over and didn't know. Because of this, I recommend taking a 2 to 3 hour tour the first full day you're in a city. In popular places, there are almost always free walking tours where you just tip the guide at the end. If you want to cover even more ground, a bike tour could be an option too. In addition to seeing the important sights, this is also a good opportunity to ask questions to a local. You can find out where to eat, where to hear live music, what parts of town get sketchy after dark, how to ride the metro, things like this. I think it's well worth a couple hours investment to take the city tour. Next tip, get out of the capital cities. It's the nature of travel that we usually wind up in the capital, whether you fly in or arrive by train or bus. Most of the time you wind up in the capital, which is fine, but don't spend all your time there. Capital cities and also cruise ship ports are just one piece of the puzzle. So I say spend a couple days there, see the highlights, and then move on and check out some smaller, cheaper, and more down-to-earth cities. How can you find those, you might ask? That brings up the next tip. Do your research. Now, I get it. Nobody wants to have to do a homework assignment just to go on vacation. However, it can make a big difference in your travel experience. Here's what I suggest. Make a list of your interests and hobbies. Then, at the bare minimum, plug these into Google or an AI site like ChatGPT. For instance, you could ask something like this. I'm going to be in London for 3 days in September. My interests are local food, live music, and World War II history. What are some must-visit attractions and experiences? You can use a similar prompt to find interesting cities to check out after you've seen the capital. Like I said, this is the quickest and easiest. If you can tolerate a bit more, ask questions on Reddit, find city-specific Facebook groups, watch YouTube videos, and search Google for travel blogs that focus on your destination. Okay guys, real quick, if you're finding this information useful, or at least entertaining, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Okay, up next, download your rideshare apps in advance. Here in the US, Uber and Lyft are the popular rideshare apps, but other places have their own regional apps like Bolt or Didi, and they may not even use Uber or Lyft in that city. So do your research, figure out what's popular where you're going, and download the app before you leave. I say this because you'll probably have to enter some credit card information, maybe set up an account, and it's safer if you do that on your home Wi-Fi, instead of trying to get on the sketchy airport free Wi-Fi or using a super slow connection from your phone. Do it in advance and you'll be good to go when you arrive. Okay, next on the list, try to arrive in a city during the day, around lunchtime or early afternoon. This will give you some time to get to your hotel and explore a little bit while it's still daylight. Plus, I feel like if you get into your hotel late in the evening, it's kind of a waste of money for that night's hotel stay. The hotel room is the same price, so try and use it for the whole day instead of just coming in that night and sleeping there.
Sorry, bud. I don't have any food for you, but I just want you to know how cute you are. If I did, believe me. Sorry to disappoint you. Okay, bye. See you next time. I'll bring something.
Okay, up next, Group tours are fine. There are a lot of group tour haters out there, but I think in some cases it makes sense to join a group. For example, if you haven't traveled a lot and you're nervous about the language barrier or safety, or if you don't have a lot of time to plan a trip, but you want to make sure you see the highlights. People who are against group tours tend to lump them all together and think of them all the same, but this isn't the reality. Group tours have a wide range of price points, travel styles, and average age of participants. People say you can do a trip cheaper on your own, but I say not necessarily. For instance, if you want to see some sights outside of the city, going on your own, hiring a taxi and maybe a guide is going to take longer and be more expensive than getting together with a group and going in a minivan. So when you're planning a trip, don't rule out a group tour. They have certain advantages. Okay, up next, don't cave in to peer pressure. It's your vacation and your money. You spend it however you want. I struggled with this for many years. You go someplace and you feel obligated to see certain things because they're popular or maybe iconic to that city. But it's your trip. If you hate, say, museums, you don't have to stand in line for 3 hours to see the Mona Lisa. If you're not interested in the Vatican, skip it. There's plenty of other things to see in Rome. And the reverse is also true. If you love sushi and you want to spend every day in Japan trying out different sushi restaurants all day, go for it. You've worked hard, it's your holiday, do what you want and don't feel bad about it. The next tip, zippers. I know, it sounds dumb. You can thank me later. Travel clothing, especially pants, should have pockets with zippers. Why? Anti-theft for one reason, to slow down pickpockets and other shady characters, but also just so you don't lose your stuff. When you're bouncing around on the back of a tuk-tuk going through Thailand, or maybe you're on a long bus ride and you slouch down in your seat, stuff can fall out of your pockets and you might not even realize it. So always look for travel gear with zippers. Pants, jackets, canvas grocery bags, backpacks. If you're bringing it on a trip, it needs a zipper. Okay, the next tip I have, pack less. I know everyone says this, but seriously, really try. You don't need a new outfit every day. If you're self-conscious about it, mix and match to add a little variety. Use the Garanimals Method. Remember Garanimals? It was a brand of kids' clothing, and the tags had different animals on it. So, for example, if you bought 4 things with a giraffe, you knew you were good to go. You could wear these in any combination as long as they had the giraffe. It's genius. But if you have to check a bag, plaster your name everywhere. Use a luggage tag. If your bag has a little slot that you can put your contact information in, use that too. And inside, in a very obvious place, put your name and contact information on a sheet of paper and put that in your luggage where it's easy to find. I'm not kidding. I work at the airport and name tags get torn off of bags by the machinery all the time. So please take extra precautions. Okay, if you're still here, I want to tell you about 2 travel strategies that I find really helpful. The first, I use when I'm trying to decide where to go, and I call it the Budget Travel Trifecta. It's a completely arbitrary designation made up by me, and it has 3 components. Is a place safe? Is it inexpensive? And is it interesting for tourists? If a place achieves the Budget Travel Trifecta, I think it's definitely worth considering. One place I've been to recently that really ticks all these boxes is Riga, Latvia. It's inexpensive, safe, and really interesting. I highly recommend it. The second strategy I want to tell you about, I use when I've arrived in a city or a neighborhood and I'm walking around and I'm just trying to get a vibe of how it is. I call this one local ladies having lunch. Don't laugh, hear me out. When you're walking around, keep your eye out for local ladies just casually getting together, having lunch, or better yet, happy hour. And this tells you a lot about a place. For me, it tells me 3 things. The ladies have enough disposable income, they can just go to lunch without worrying about it. It's culturally acceptable for women to be out together in a casual setting. And the place is relatively safe, because if it was super sketchy, you wouldn't see local ladies just out having lunch together. So it might sound funny, but next time you're on a trip and you're walking around, pay attention and see if you don't agree with me. I think it's a really good way to get a vibe of how a place is. Is it safe? Is it cool? Look around, local ladies having lunch. Okay, thank you so much for watching. These are some of the best tips I have after traveling for over 40 years. If you have anything to add or any tips of your own, We'd love to hear them. Please put it in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.
What's up, little buddy? Oh my goodness. Look at you. Hi. I'm sorry I didn't bring any food. I didn't bring any squirrel food. I just think it's cute how you're rolling in the dirt. You're very athletic, mister. Should be in the Squirrel Olympics.